Welcome to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. By combining traditional business building methods with AI, Kyle helps law firms, financial advisors, and a variety of businesses thrive in a changing world to build custom growth playbooks to success. Now, here's Kyle.
Welcome to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. By combining traditional business building methods with AI, Kyle helps law firms and other professional service businesses grow smarter and scale without chaos. I'm Evan Mack, and today we're talking about why so many firms plateau once they hit a certain revenue mark and what it takes to break past the ceiling without burning out your team or yourself. Kyle, my brother, welcome back.
Hey, great to be back.
Good stuff. Kyle, what typically causes that seven-figure stall for law firm owners? Why do so many firms stop growing even when the demand is there?
So in the beginning, you're the chief everything officer. The owner does kind of everything. They're the main producer. And while they might bring on other staff to help them, they're still the main bottleneck. They make all the decisions. And there's only so much focus to go around. And that's why they don't grow. You can only manage so many things and do so many things well. And so in the beginning, you provide the service very, at a high level because it's you doing the work. But then as you grow, you need to bring other people on your team. And those people don't understand the standards that have been, normalized earlier on.
So Kyle, when you run a step AI analysis on a firm that's plateaued, what are the most common bottlenecks you do see inside the structure or their workflow?
Yeah. So first one, they often don't have a clear vision, mission, or values. Those statements are really important. They're not just some like woo-woo ideas. They're actually really, really important to align the team because as you grow and get more staff on, then you can really up the revenue and have produce more legal services or whatever business you're in. You can produce more, but you have to have everybody rowing in the same direction. And a lot of times people don't really understand why they're there or what's important to the business owner. And so having those statements is very important. And then clear roles, clear job descriptions, SMART goals for them. So they're specific, they're measurable, they're actionable, they're relevant, they're time specific. All those are very, very important as well, so that people actually understand what they're doing, how it fits into the bigger vision, and why it matters and what they're working towards.
So how do those decision bottlenecks, where everything has gone through the owner quietly hold a firm back?
Yeah, like I said before, there's only so much focus to go around. There's 12 key elements of a business. That's what our Step AI report evaluates: is which ones are being taken care of and which ones aren't.
Mm.
And like I said, there's 12 key areas, but the best operators, they can manage 5. Those are like the top tier best operators. Most people are not even managing 2 or 3 well.
So at what point should an owner start thinking about creating true leadership layers or, middle management?
Great question. So you really need to bring on a somebody who's in charge of operations fairly early on, earlier than you might think. I would say about like 4 or 5 employees, maybe sooner, maybe a little bit later, but somebody who can just manage the operations so that you can focus on the actual delivery because you're still in that production mode where you're providing the service. That's what I would say what is going to help unlock a lot of things, because then you can work in the business while they work on the business.
So what does delegation look like when it's done, well versus when it's just dumping tasks without, strategy or maybe focus?
Yeah, so well, I would even call that delegation. I would call, if you're just dumping tasks on people, hey, here you go, own this
Mm,
now. That's abdication, and
mm,
that doesn't go well. So you really have to understand what your vision, what's important to you, where you're going. For instance, when I get on a call with a client, I always start there because I want to understand what their ideal destination looks like, so
Hmm.
that we can help them get there. If you're not clear on where you want to go, it's a lot harder for me to understand what we need to do to get there. And everybody wants something a little different. And for some people, having a kind of a lifestyle practice where they are able to take some cases that they like, they're able to play golf on Fridays, do whatever that else is important to them. That's totally fine. But building a lifestyle practice looks far different than somebody who wants to build a $15 million law firm with multiple offices, multiple lots of staff. That's a very different destination.
How can a law firm owners use data or dashboards to see where the work is piling up before it becomes a crisis for them?
Yeah, I mean, the first part is just tracking everything. Get clear on metrics like where clients are coming from, who's sending them. Is it through referrals? Is it through advertising? Of the people who get sent to you, who are qualified? How many of them are qualified? From there, it would be how many of them actually convert into clients. From there, how quickly do those matters wrap up? What types of matters are you handling? For, I'll give you for instance, or actually, I'll give you a case study. So I worked with a client. They had two types of clients that we identified. They had a client who took up a lot of their time, was very difficult to work with, and often did not pay their bill either on time or at all.
Hmm.
Uh, they had a bunch of these clients in their practice. They really didn't like working with them. They were stressing them out a ton. And then there was another client that we identified, hidden in plain sight. Their matter wrapped up in a matter of weeks, and the person understood the value that was being brought, was easy to work with, and was far more profitable. So it was like, hey, why don't we serve more of these clients? Why don't we build
Right.
strategies to acquire more of these types of clients
Right.
that are going to be much more likely to refer friends, sing your praises, and pay the
Hmm.
bills. And so that's if you get clear on your data and you understand who's that better client, then you can start shifting things to serve that better client and make your firm more profitable.
So can you explain how capacity planning helps a firm scale sustainably?
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand how many cases people can handle, before things start falling through the cracks. I've seen a lot of people get into big trouble because you just say yes to every single matter that walks through the door, and that's not a sustainable business model. Some clients are, yeah, they might pay really well, but they're very, very difficult, and I mean, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, in my opinion. And then there's other people who are a lot easier. So some people, their matter is going to be a lot more involved, and it's going to take a lot more. And so it might be they're not the problem, but the case they're in is it's going to take a lot of work. It's,
Hmm.
say, like a nasty divorce or a very complicated matter. You can handle less of those. And so saying yes to a bunch of cases like that is really going to limit how well an employee is going to be able to handle. They're going to have to take on a smaller volume of cases to handle those more complex matters.
What are some early signs that that a firm is about to outgrow its systems, and how can they get ahead of that?
Quite frankly, a lot of people don't have systems. And that's the first one. Have some systems, like I said before. Have some data to make decisions from. Um, and so, first start tracking things, and then I would really encourage. You got to have focus. You got to have focus to ask these questions and to understand what's going on from your employees. So you got to take time to have those conversations. You got to take time to look at your data. You got to have time to think through all these different issues, like, based if there's these types of cases, an attorney is only going to really be able to handle the upper limit's about 80. So we can only give them about 80, and let's like see how many they have. Oh, they have 75. Well, then I can't really give them any new cases, and it might mean you need to hire somebody else, or it might mean you need to shift some of the workload to somebody else. It just depends on the situation. But like I said before, measuring so you actually have an understanding of what the situation is the first step.
And finally, Kyle, what's one actionable step a firm owner can take this week to start clearing their biggest bottleneck?
One, I would say get clear on what's important to you, where you want to go, and then begin thinking through who can help you, what their strengths are, to manage other elements of the firm that you're not really focused on. So that could be finance, it could be operations, could be human resources. It really depends on where you're focused. So take stock of what you're focused on, and then begin to identify leaders that can help you focus on other areas, or who can own different areas. Could be HR, could be finance, could be operations, technology. Understand that you can't focus on everything, and that you have to have good employees who understand where you're going and where what needs to happen in order to get there, and empower them to focus on the areas that you simply can't focus on because you're focused on other areas.
Amazing. Kyle, thank you for your time, brother.
My pleasure. Great being here.
All right. Thanks for listening to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. If you want to see how Chief Go officers use AI to help firms decide faster and scale smarter, visit chiefgoofficers.com. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review if you found today's episode helpful. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
If you heard anything you would like to discuss with Kyle, please schedule a call with him using the link in the show notes. Please also be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review in the comments.